Open Vision Media presents The Adventures of Sir Constant, a Knight of the Splendid Way, written by W. E. Cule. Chapter 1. The Adventure of the Chapel in the Valley. On the farther frontier of the western lands dwelt Sir Fortis, an aged knight who was warden of one of the outposts of the great king. He had won high renown in the battles of his earlier days, but the virtues of his riper years had brought him glory of a gentler kind. The king's banner flew proudly from his castle wall, and when he rode forth he did honor to the royal service by the dignity of his bearing and the brightness of his arms. Yet he did that service more honor by the kindness of his heart and the grace of his deeds. His castle was no less a place of pity than a place of power, and his judgment seat was radiant with the light of mercy. This good knight was well loved by his household, and by the young men whom he had trained in arms and chivalry. Of these the first was Constant, who had been page to Sir Fortis, and was now his squire. He held the old knight in reverent worship, and because he reverenced his master, he reverenced also his master's overlord. Ever and anon came royal messengers to the warden's castle, and ever and anon he saw men ride bravely by on their way to the city beyond the hills. The service wooed him strongly, so that he dreamed night and day of great deeds for a great sovereign. Thus it came about at last that no knight set out on the king's way, but the heart of Constant followed him. Sir Fortis saw this, for he loved the boy well.
"I know what is in thy heart," he said one day. "Is it not the king's service and the great city?"
"It is in my heart and my dreams," said Constant. "Yet I know myself ill-fitted for an enterprise so high. I have seen the worth of the king's knights, and it is far beyond my power."
But Sir Fortis smiled.
"Which of us all is worthy?" he said. "Yet who is there that may not be made worthy? I have watched thy longings for many days, and I bid thee fear nothing. It will be my joy to set thee on thy way."
Then Constant's cheeks flamed and his eyes glowed. The old knight smiled as he saw it.
"To me it may be given," he said in his heart, "to come at the end of the day to the king's presence, bearing my young men. May the king grant it."
And he said aloud,
"Soon my charge here must be delivered up, and myself summoned to see my lord face to face. But now it is my glory to lead thee to that service which every man who enters must enter for himself. To that mystic place shalt thou go which is called the Chapel of Voices, and there shalt thou watch by thy arms, bearing with a high courage all that the knight may bring. And there, if thou be true and steadfast, thou shalt see that vision without which no man can be worthy of the great name."
Sunward of the western lands lies the vale which is called the Vale of Promise. It is fair and fertile, with many sunny meadows and singing streams, and with flowery paths that seem to offer an easy journey through those eastern hills which catch the first beams of the morning sun. So lovely are the peaks of those heights on sunny days soon after dawn, that the eager heart of youth has often mistaken them for the turrets and pinnacles of the city splendid, the city of the great king. But the aged and prudent have smiled at this, for they know that the city lies far beyond. Many of the paths in the vale are merged at last in one, and this leads to another valley, still going eastward. Here Constant found the way stern and stony, and there were no sunny meadows to tempt the traveller. Yet a small stream still murmured by the way, and ever and anon a bed of flowers smiled among the rocks. And though the valley narrowed more and more, yet at times the path climbed high the cliff side, and gave a glimpse of lordly peaks shining gloriously. At sunset the chapel stood before him, set in the very heart of the pass. The one worn path came to its threshold, so that there was no onward way save through.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?